fashion victim.
This was in London in the late 80s. My mate and I were in IT support for a finance company. IT wasn't highly valued in those days, so the brokers tended to treat us as their servants. They were typical city yuppies. All filofaxes and liquid lunches. One of the brokers had a regular routine. Every morning when he got in, he'd call my mate over. It was an open plan office. The broker would have his head buried in the newspaper and casually throw down a £50 note on his desk and say the same thing every morning. "Get me a coffee. Danish and get something for yourself." Now a £50 note is the highest denomination in British currency. Shopkeepers hate them and some try hard to refuse them. Apart from anything else, giving change for a 50 can empty your registers of available change for other customers. So my mate always had a tough time getting the guys coffee and Danish, which usually amounted to around £3 in those days. And anyway, he was a Unix admin, not a gopher. But my mate did his best and every morning would give the guy his breakfast and leave over £45 in change on his desk. So one morning my mate sets out on his usual errand and leaves the guy's coffee and pastry on his desk, but no change. Just a minute. Broker boy calls my mate back. "Where's the change?" Quote, "Well, you said I should get something for myself, so I got this rather nice Ralph Lauren sweater," which he then produces from a shopping bag. "What do you think of it?" Quote, "Broker boy looks my mate up and down, regards the sweater, nods to himself and says, 'Fair play to you, mate. Fair play,' and goes back to reading his paper. It never happened again. It really was quite a nice sweater."
Neat.
I guess he didn't sweat the change.
Love this.
I'm going to start saying this all the time. Fair play to you, op, fair play. Wonderful MC. Was bound to eventually happen after all. I was just wondering about the £50 note being the highest denomination available at the time. I distinctly remember my father paying for some rather common grocery shopping in our local grocery store in the late 80s, with a 1,000 Swiss franc note, called a measly, as its pictured aunt was called locally, and the cashier accepted it casually, without hesitation, handing back a 500 Swiss francs, a 200 Swiss francs, and some other change. Back then, the exchange rate was somewhere around £1 equals 2 Swiss francs and 80 rappen. Edit. Typo. Wonderful MC! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Love it! And he didn't even break a sweat. And he now runs the company. I'm just amazed that a Ralph Lauren sweater was only £47 or so. It really was a nice sweater. Bravo. Ha 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 ha, that's awesome. Very well played indeed. It seems your friend didn't want, at least, what we in the US would call sausage biscuit and either coffee, juice, or soda to drink. Brilliant! Exclamation mark. Must have been a knockoff sweater though if it was under £45. It must be pretty nice to be a spineless doormat.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.